In this video, I will recreate a piece of the Herman Miller furniture I have, but actually I will rebuild it with a little bit more simplified geometry. And the main focus of attention for me will be how to build, for example, the cabinetry. So we will have 4 drawers between the shelf and the top. So this length is 58 inches. So I need, when I want to put in 4 shelves, I need to have at least 1, 2, 3 spacers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots actually for the drawers to go in. So let's say, what is 58 minus, let's say, 3 inches, so this is 55, and 55 divided by 4. So my drawers can be a max of 13.75 inches wide. Okay, so with knowing this, now we can, for example, go into one sketch. I will go and do everything regarding my sides and shelves just in one sketch, so I have less sketches to deal with. And I need to add like a line there, another line, okay, and another line there, and another one, and there, and there. Okay, so each of these lines is exactly 1 inch material thickness. Let's say it this way, there, and there, and there, there. Same with here. There. Okay, good. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each one currently can be 13.75 wide. So this distance to this distance is 13.75, and this distance can be the same. Okay, and also this distance. Okay, good. If we measure now the distance between these two lines, 13.75. Good. I can't actually dimension this distance because I dimensioned actually, oh, whoops, the maximum width of my tabletop already. So there it will tell me that I can't do it, but I can actually keep a readout. So a driven dimension, not a driving dimension. And there, this one tells me the same dimension. Okay, good. So with those sketches in there, I can go ahead and now from the top, for example, minus 6 inches, all new parts. For example, build this block down. Perfect. So now I have, as you can see, the tabletop, the shelf below, and I have 3 spatial separators into which I can insert now the geometry, for example, for a drawer. So there are multiple ways now how we could do it. I could draw everything in here, or I make a sketch, but I will in this case actually do something different. So I know that this is actually 13.75 inches wide. So I will actually make myself a new sketch, and this time actually on the ground there. And maybe I will, when I go into top view there. So let's make a line. And a line, and a line, and a line. So we said this one should be 13.75. There. Okay. If I want to be a little bit smarter, I could actually take a look at what is this distance. That is D19. So, okay, could also say here D19. So in case I adjust this one, then this maximum width of my sketch adjusts as well. Okay, good. So, and the depth, let's say 21 inch distance. Now we could say maybe this could be 19. Okay, so this is now the maximum depth of my drawer. And the height is 6 inches. With a drawer, we have a side, a back, and a front module, and then we have a bottom we put in. Now, based on the joinery system you want to use, there are different ways now how we could create the sketch. I, for example, will say, well, at the front there will be a small wood plate. So this, for example, I will extrude straight up. And let's say this is maybe 1/2 inch. Okay. Then we need to have at least something left and right, and at the back, let's say, should be nice and sturdy. So I will sketch it out this way. So I draw a line down from there, and then a line from there to there. Okay. And then this, let's say this is actually 0.75 inch, a little bit stronger there. And this one should be this dimension as well. And in between here I put another board there, U and U, also 75. Okay, because later when assembly, I envisioned that, for example, we could drill a hole and then screw this together. This would be very easy. So you see the ends simply sit on each other. Because this is a drawer which mainly will be inside the furniture piece, there's not really much we have to do in terms of hiding joinery or making a fancier stable joinery. Screws in this case will be more than sufficient. Okay, so now we have plus minus the different plates. So now we could go ahead and say you go up 6 inches. Show the sketch again one more time. This one 6 inches, and one more time, and this one and this one 6 inches. But in this case, new bodies, because I want to have separate parts. Okay, perfect. So that's good. And now we have to take care of the bottom part. Now, because everything here, let's say, is made out of wood, so it slides upon each other, I need to have a small wooden insert, and I can't really, let's say, make a board that's as wide of the interior area. But then how do I connect it? So what we will do is the following. What is this object there? So this one we will deselect. Oh no, actually that one we will work. So on this part, I will create a small sketch. There, let's go to this view, and I just draw something here for the moment. Okay, so let's say distance wise, U to U, this maybe should be 0.25 inch, very low, and then U to U, let's say 0.5 inch, U to U, also 0.5 inch. So this one grows 0.25 inch into those wood sides. But then the height can also be very small, 0.25 inch. Okay. So what is this one actually for? I will show you. So what we can do is now actually take this and extrude it out as a new body. Now we need to figure out, for example, for how much I have to extrude this one out. There. So it looks like 18.75 is what I need. So 1/4 inch it intersects. Okay, good. And the front I extrude 1/4 inch out as well. So I extend the piece. Oh, not new object. That was kind of silly. Obviously, you should join it, but join only to this insert. Okay, so why did I do this? Simple reason. I can select this plate and cut it out actually out of all those different boards. So I have then the groove. So this object, cut this object. Okay, repeat, U, okay, repeat, U, and repeat, U. Okay, this thing here is a tick too wide. I don't know how I came up with the measurement here. Obviously this should 0.5. So I would assume this actually goes in 18. Let's go there. Yeah, 18 inches, new body. Okay, good. So, perfect. Now when I hide this object, you will see that with this part, we created the inlay, and we used the volume of the inlay to cut out the space to be inserted. Because in manufacturing, for example, I could, for example, connect those two and then slide this one in and then cap it. And now this inlay obviously prevents stuff to fall through. But you see also, when I hide this one and show this, these three objects can be connected, but then I have an additional edge that prevents these ends, for example, to go up and down. And then here again, this is also a nice connection, and then when we put the cap over it, we have kind of like 3 elements that are connected to each other to make the object more rigid. And there's, for example, now our basic drawer. Let's maybe finish this with giving it a doorknob. So how do we do a doorknob? Maybe we'll make a very simple one with an extrusion. Or yeah, we do an extrusion because this exercise is more about how to make the drawers. So we will create a sketch on here, and for example select circle there, push this one out there, and then I could maybe extrude this one out a little bit, and there I have a small thing I could pull, but this kind of looks stupid. So okay, so no rounded part, and simply let's do it this way. Here can also make 2 rectangles. So let's say rectangle number 1 and rectangle number 2. Okay, let's set, for example, dimension 1 inch, 1 inch, and let's say this point and this point is horizontal, this point and this point is horizontal, and all this 1 inch. So when I make this one 2 inches, you see it grows size-wise. Perfect. And now I could, for example, extrude these parts out, but I just realized that this actually does not really make sense because this is a new object. So sorry for the confusion. We will do it differently. Here's my initial bottom sketch. I will go to this sketch. Go ahead. And for example, here, where is the midline? There's my midline, and draw a line out. Let's say my handle comes 2 inches out, 3 inches, and goes maybe 1 inch in. So 3, and 1 in. Okay, so this point and this point, 1 inch. This point and this point, this dimension. Okay, this one here is actually just a construction line. These 2 lines I can delete. They were just a quick helper because I put a new line in there, and then maybe from there parallel over, and then from this grid there. Okay, so I will say parallel this line parallel to this line, so it rotates it correctly. Perfect. Then I can move this one down, bring this one over, overlap these points. Okay, that currently doesn't do it. Fine, then I simply do it this way, there, and actually this should be horizontal. Now when I move this one up and down, you see how everything slides nicely. I would like to have a distance, maybe 1 inch. This should be this. Okay, now they have a small handle. Very basic shape. So this one, for example, I can extrude up 0.25 as a new body. Okay. And now we would like to move this one into the correct position. And let's say I move this one simply up horizontally. So you see now I started, I don't want to say eyeball few things, but some things I restrict with a measurement and some I simply move into the correct position, because if you design something, you never just, how could I say that, do something without having done a sketch or some measurements before. So you know actually, or you should know at least, what you're doing. And there is now our, let's say, first drawer. There are no hardwares, and actually this drawer is a little bit too narrow, too wide to fit in when, for example, you would have hardware rails left and right. I simply built this one so that it can perfectly slide in. And this is something I would do at the beginning when you're new to this, and just simply ignore the technicality of hardware. That's something we can add later anyway. So all this I actually would like to turn into a component. So you see I selected everything and say create components from body. And now I have all these components. That's actually not what I wanted. Hold on 1 second. Let's say you should be a component there. Perfect, body, and then can I drag all these into there? Yes, there's one left, and this one. Okay, so what is a component? A component actually is, well, think about it as a module. So all those objects, I move in there. Okay, now inside my browser, you see I have bodies and I have a component. I can actually activate the component. Now I only see the timeline of this component. If I activate back the timeline of my complete design tree, I see everything. And components make it very easy to select everything. You see I can just simply click it, and now I move this component into the correct position. There. Dang. And I could select this component, right click, copy, and paste there. Capture position, and then move this one over and say you to you. Let's be more precise. No. I have to be careful there to there. Okay, and could do another paste, move this one over, and then say you to you. Okay, one more time, and then you have them. And then, for example, for presentation purposes, so we could also say, no, you see there is a drawer we could slide out, etc. If we do all these drawers single, then with copy and paste we can do something like this, but we can also do it this way. So I go back, select the component, say move, and say this point here, move to there. Then you get a snapshot, and it asks you to click the snapshot. And the snapshot, well, as you can see here, is a snapshot of that this component was moved to somewhere else. Perfect. And then we can actually, with a pattern, simply select this component. So all objects inside at once go along this way. For example, 4 times. And let's see what distance. Distance type. Do we have maybe spacing? Do we have maybe the ability to say how many pieces? Distance, spacing. 14.75. Whoops. Yeah, that's it. So 14.75 each new, because there's 1 inch of this side material. So this one will be moved 1 inch plus 13.75. See there, it's filled in. Okay. Now, unfortunately, let's see, can we select this object and still move it around? Oh, actually this works as well. So this is pretty interesting. So the array command created all these different components for us. If you take a look at the browser, there, and then each individual component we can adjust. And also with the components, because they're all the same, if we change something in one component, they will all change for, in the other parts. So currently, let's try this one out. These handles look kind of massive. Let's take a look at what we have here, there. Let's maybe go in and adjust some of these dimensions. So let's say, how much is this? Maybe 2 inches. Okay. And I would like the midpoint of this line to be on this line. Okay, good. Stop sketch. And there you see now that actually all handles got adjusted, but interestingly, I noticed everything in my sketch got moved. So why did this happen? Well, I actually moved the sketch, and it looks like that this also moved the components. So instead of moving the rest of my drawing to the handle, I want actually the handle to snap exactly to the midpoint of the handle to this line. So the way how I could do this is actually I select this construction line and fix it. By fixing it, I think I cannot move the rest. I can maybe move it up and down a little bit. Okay, that's still not what I want. So maybe this line here I select and say fix as well. So like you pin it down so it can't move on your paper. Now I can select this one and this one, and we have this kind of funny effect, and ooh, oh, my sketch explodes. This is not good. Okay, sometimes when this happens, you have to figure out some different ways how maybe we could create actually the adjustment we are looking for. Okay, so let's see. Point. Okay, and midpoint of this point to this line. Okay, so now we have this line there, and I would like the line to be vertically aligned to this endpoint of this line, and there we are. Perfect. So that wasn't too difficult. So let's say this is 3 and maybe 1.5. Whoa. Okay, not 1.5. Oh, we can drag this one out. So maybe instead of defining that the length, I simply define the distance between these two lines. So 0.25. And maybe this is also way too big, so 0.25. And there, okay. Let's click stop sketch and let's take a look at our stuff, and you see everything kind of fits there. Okay. Now somehow the sketch still moved a little bit, and that's not really a big deal. I just go to this component, So you added the snapshot. So here, this component move, and then I say, yeah, move it back from there to there. Okay. Finish snapshot, and there. So I just updated it. So in case you do a change to the sketch and then the drawers move to somewhere else, not a big deal. We just then reposition it. Okay, so that's, for example, a very basic way how we can do a drawer with a handle and then use the components to create modules and then populate your scene.